All right, y'all. This is the Professor Malik X, along again with the prodigal champ, Michael Sean Polston, also to me known as the Prophet, reports wrestling, and also he reports political news, the real stuff.
How's it going, guys? You magnificent sons of bitches out there. We're going to give you a TNA Destination X review.
Oh, yeah. And once again, Polston, it was a good show. This will be a little quicker than usual. Uh, okay. The show opens up with a vignette showing clips of the final deletion match with the words "the day after" sprawled across the screen. Jeff wakes up, and then Matt is shown walking and talking to his dilapidated boat or dilapidated boat. Excuse me.
Dilapidated. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Matt.
better get Brad Rule's dilapidated boat right because he loves that thing.
Oh yeah, and maybe TNA Wrestling can even put it on their TNAShops.com website.
I bet you Vince tries to sign it for the next pay-per-view for WWE.
That'd be a first. Uh, Matt thanks the boat for shielding him from Jeff's fireworks last week. Matt is holding a bag full of Jeff Hardy's material belongings and then rows out to the middle of his pond. His drone Vanguard V1 flies to Matt with Jeff's shirt from the final deletion hanging off of it. Matt throws the bag of Jeff's belongings into the pond. Yep, that was as weird as you would expect. We cut to the ring where all the X Division guys are ready for the ladder match to start. Okay, Polston, your thoughts of the opening, I guess you could say, opening movie sequel like, segment.
I mean, this stuff right here that they're doing, it's definitely creative. I like the character because Matt Hardy just does it so damn well of just being that creepy looking guy with those eyes and everything like that. Um, I mean, at first I wasn't a very big fan of the final deletion, but the more I started to watch it over and over again, the more I started to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it was good because it got them attention the first time, and now they're running with that a little bit more. So it's going to be interesting if they're going to keep doing this, uh, basically specifically for the Matt Hardy character, because it's really scoring with the fans. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
if it,
yeah.
don't rock the boat and don't rock the dilapidated boat. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I didn't mind it so much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I thought it was good. It was funny. I mean, at some point, or at some points, I think, okay, they're taking this a little too far, but yeah, it's still funny. Now, we go to the X Division match itself. Hold on, hold on a second.
It was the X for the X. It was for the number
Yeah.
one contendership match.
Yep. The usually red X hanging from the ceiling is green this go around. Lee and Everett go to toss ladders in the ring. Basically, you had uh, the participants. You had the Carolina Caveman Trevor Lee with Shane Helms versus the Skywalker Andrew Everett versus Mandrews versus Braxton Sutter versus DJ Zima Ion versus Rockstar Spud. This was a good match. A lot of theatrics, a lot of skills. Uh, Long story short, uh, DJ Zima Ion wins the match, pulling down the X. So basically, now he's the number one contender for the X Division championship. This was a very long, entertaining match. Hey, Polston, your thoughts?
Man, this match right here was it was pretty badass. There was at one point in time, I mean, this move really took a lot of fucking skills. But you had, I think, who was it? Was it Trevor Lee or was it Adam Everett? It was one of the heels, right? And I think,
Yeah,
I forgot who the other two participants were. But they started to pull the ladders apart. So this guy straddled like this right here with the ladders, and Zima Ion does this kind of backflip and racks him. Man, that was an amazing fucking move. There was like so many amazing moves in this match. It was a really good, fast-paced match. Pretty much that's what you get in X Division. It's really fast-paced. You get a lot of the lucha style wrestling that you did in the WCW. It's their version of the cruiserweight, kind of. Um, it's a really good match, and I like how it's organic. Whenever they build these X Division champions up, instead of just handing people titles, how it's so organic that they use this to go ahead and give the smaller guys, which is what the WWE Universe wants, a chance to go up against the heavyweight contenders and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Also in this match, you had a lot of forearms. At one point, Helms Dynasty throws Sutter into the ladder, and then Spud jumps on Sutter and continues to beat him down. Andrews attempts to come in, but the Dynasty take him down as well. Zima comes in, and the same happens to him. So, like I said, the ladder was used a lot, of course. At one point, everybody was
Yep.
away.
Is it like cloudy over there or something, man? Or can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. I can hear you loud and clear.
I'm gonna take these off.
Okay.
I can't hear you, man.
Okay, can you hear me
You may
now?
have to take your headset off. I can hear you now, but I think your headset's going out, man.
Oh, it is?
You may have to unplug it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going out, man. Okay. You're on mute right now.
Okay. I'm unmuted though. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I think next time I'll do this on my desktop. Okay. Okay. After the match, JB has an interview with Zima at ringside about his win. Zima says that he has been in the X Division for 6 years, and this year he has been working harder than ever. He says that we are looking at the next X Division champion. Mike Bennett blindsides Zima and beats the hell out of him. Bennett says that he promised to ruin Destination X, and this is just the beginning of what he will do tonight. He says he will burn TNA to the ground tonight. And of course, we cut to backstage. EC3 says that tonight is a Destination fist fight, and he and Galloway want the same things, but there can only be one. Okay, what do you, Paulson? Are your thoughts on this segment? Azima Ion getting jumped, and then EC3's
Well,
promo for upcoming fight.
the Zima Ion thing set up for what else was going on tonight. Um, I like what Mike Bennett brings into the ring. I like his intensity that he brings in, especially with his promos and whatnot. Um, I'm kind of undecided on ring performance because I've only seen him in a very few matches. So I'd like to see him go a little bit more in the ring a little bit just to see what he can do, how versatile he is. But yeah, it wasn't bad. He jumped Zima Ion, um, and Zima Ion for a cruiserweight is still of a bigger cruiserweight. Thank Billy Kidman, and so I really didn't mind that segment. The EC3 segment with Drew Galloway, of course, that's been setting up for a while. I liked how TNA's really kind of built this up between Galloway and EC3. It should be a good match because both these guys we know can work in the ring really, really well with other people.
Oh yeah, they're really awesome. Uh, as you know now, TNA has a new female blonde interviewer. I guess you can call her, like the chicken WWE Ambros's girlfriend. Yeah, Renee 2.0. Her name is
Renee Young.
yeah, Renee Young 2.0. Her name is Mackenzie Mitchell, and she's with Dixie Carter. Dixie talks about the time slot and night move starting next week. She says that the BFG playoffs will kick off next week with the winner of the tournament getting a world title shot at Bound for Glory in September. The new time slot is 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights. Yes, they're moving back to Thursday nights, folks, and I guess they're going to go head to head with SmackDown, which ought to be easy because SmackDown sucks anyway. But Paulson, what are your
Yeah,
thoughts on this new
SmackDown's moving to
concept?
Tuesday anyways.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Cause SmackDown. Sorry, SmackDown's
Oh,
moving.
the Bound for Glory. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, SmackDown's
yeah.
going to
Oh,
Tuesday. So TNA is going to Thursday. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Sorry, folks. Stand corrected. Anyway,
and
Paulson.
that's better for TNA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's better. That's better for TNA, right? Because on um on Thursday it's a better time slot. Especially they'll be from the 7 to I think 8 o'clock or something like that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's just a better premium time slot for people to want to watch wrestling. Tuesday from 9 to 10 was kind of a bad time slot for them. I think that this is going to be a better time slot for him. I think it's a horrible time slot on Tuesday, to be honest. To be real, the only reason that SmackDown moved to Tuesday was to try and compete with TNA. I think it actually works in TNA's favor because SmackDown's not that great of a show, anyways. You know what I'm saying? Who watches SmackDown? I don't even watch Raw,
Of
but who
course. Yeah.
watches SmackDown? Not a lot of people watch SmackDown, and it's already like anyways. So I think that this will do more for TNA, and hopefully, it'll expand their audience a little bit more because they're on a better time slot. Uh, I definitely like the Bound for Glory playoffs coming up. I like the way they structure this right here because it gives everybody a chance. It just makes for good television. You know what I mean? Even though people are going to do the spoilers, the meltzers, and all this shit, just enjoy the product for what it is. I watch SmackDown on Tuesdays, or now it's going to be on Thursdays. You know, I've watched the SmackDown show. I don't rely on the spoilers. Go check it out because, the spoilers are not going to do it any justice because all the shit that we're talking about, I'm not making it up. Why the hell would I sit there and if I didn't like anything, me, I'm going to tell you it's shit, but this isn't shit. They've been killing it for the past few months at least. I'd say a year, really.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah. And also, what are your thoughts on this new Bound for Glory playoff concept? That sounds a lot like the old world champ,
It's they
the, the world championship tournament that they were doing before they moved the channels again.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the same concept, I think. I bet you it's the same strategy and everything else.
Okay.
Um, it's kind of like the world tournament. I know a lot of people get into it. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
should be interesting too.
Okay. Now, next segment. JB's in the ring with Lashley and Eddie Edwards. Before JB can ask Eddie anything, Lashley snatches the microphone from him and says that last week Eddie got in a lucky shot on him. Basically, Lashley is cutting a promo and kicks JB out, and kicks Jeremy Borash out of the ring. Him and Eddie Edwards jaw back and forth. So, and eventually a fight breaks out. And so Lashley beats him down a little bit. And then, of course, Eddie Edwards, his partner, returns to help him out. And they kind of double team Lashley and knock him out of the ring. And I just lost my partner. Oh, there he is. Welcome back, Poston. Did you have some internet problems?
Yeah, it said that the connection cut out or something.
Okay.
Trying to check my work schedule for.
Okay.
But go ahead, man. I'm
Yes.
listening.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, yeah, Davey Richards returns, runs out, and and pulls a chair out of Bobby Lashley's hand, which he was going to strike Eddie Edwards with. So basically, the Wolves are back together. Double team Lashley knocks him out of the ring, which sets up later tonight the fight for the title versus title. So, Paulson, your thoughts on that segment? I mean, I thought it was a good segment. See, that's the way wrestling should be, like in the old days, like on the Superstation when the NWA had the Superstation. You had a promo, then you had a fight, which sets up a fight for later.
Yeah. I really, really did like this segment. I like Davey Richards. I mean, Davey Richards to me kind of reminds me a little bit of Dean Malenko and like Eddie Edwards. And I'm talking about in ring, you know what I'm saying? Just their move
Oh
set.
yeah,
Not exactly. They're not. They don't do the same moves as Dean Malenko, but just the way he's built and the way he handles himself, his ring presence, kind of reminds me a little bit of Dean Malenko. Eddie Edwards with his just his ring presence. I'm not saying that he's psycho and gonna kill fucking I think he's with Madison Rain or somebody. I don't think he's gonna kill, but his ring presence reminds me a little bit of Chris Benoit of how he handles himself in the ring and whatnot. So I think that these two work really, really well together. And I like Davey Richards. I'm glad Davey Richards is back. Hopefully we could sit there and see a little bit more of the Wolves because that tag team was amazing. And
Well, of course,
but I
yeah.
mean,
And
you're probably going to eventually get a feud, is what it looks like. Just listening to it and stuff like that, you may actually end up getting a match, which wouldn't be too bad neither. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, and the Wolves to me remind me so much of the British Bulldogs back in the day, except they're smaller. But like I said, Davey Richards reminds me of Dynamite Kid, and Eddie Edwards reminds me of Davey Boy Smith. Like I said, I miss I miss Davey Boy Smith, and of course the Dynamite Kid is still alive, but he's in a wheelchair. But I miss watching the Bulldogs. I wish a tag team like them were around today. Anyway, okay, backstage segment again. Steve and Abyss from Decay are freaking out about seeing Rosemary kiss Bram last week. Abyss says he will take care of Bram tonight and everything will be beautiful again. We go to commercial break. Another vignette of the Matt Hardy is shown with Matt screening the final deletion to some of their friends and family. Matt screams, I just deleted your ass, as it ends, and some kid hilariously stares at Matt like he is a freak. So, Paulson, once again, your thoughts on this ongoing aftermath of the final deletion of Brother Nero?
Well, first off, with we'll go ahead and get into the decay segment
Yeah.
a little bit. I honestly think that this needs to be some sort of setup if you're going to bring in Bram respectively. But I mean, it's going to be. I mean, I like what they're doing with Decay, and to me, it's just a little too early. I think that they got a lot of life left in Decay. You know what I'm saying? To stretch it
Yeah.
out, and
Yeah.
I think that they need to stretch it out as much as they can because it's one of those unique things right now that they're not doing a lot of. It's one of those unique ideas that everybody wants to bash everybody. They don't have unique ideas and they don't have unique concepts and they copy off of WWE all the time. Well, this is one of those stables that's really, really unique. And for them to go out and break this up so quick, I think that they need to keep them together and then maybe bring in Bram. And like I said, if Rosemary and Bram are going to be Rosemary and Bram, they can be Rosemary and Bram and still be Decay. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And
And
as far as the final deletion thing goes, like I said, that scene right there with the kid looking at him all weird and stuff was kind of just it was just you could tell it's just there for comedy relief. So,
of course,
um,
yeah.
yeah, that's
At
what
one
it is
point,
right now.
yeah, at one point to me, it looked kind of creepy. But as far as Decay, I was watching it and I was thinking of you, and I said, Polston, I got a bad feeling they're breaking up Decay already. You know, because I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking, yeah, it is too soon to break up Decay. I think Decay sells a lot because they do have fans. I would keep them together at least maybe at least 2 more months at the most. Like I said, and they're still tag team champions. So I wouldn't break Rosemary off, on some silly storyline as I guess you could say goth romance. But it is what it is when it comes to creative.
Right. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, they're doing a good job doing the storylines right now. I just think that there's a whole lot left in the tank with this decay thing, and even bringing in Bram would make that decay stronger because now you have two big guys later on, and then you can give Bram a title later on too, and you can give Rosemary a title and make them a strong stable. I just think that they should run with it until the wheels fall off, kind of, I guess. And then you'll know whenever it's time to break up a stable.
Yeah, because I think Rosemary would be a good TNA Knockouts champion. Okay. The Monster Abyss, the Monster Abyss with Crazy Steve versus the Chesterfield Plague, Bram. I see Bram as a new subtitle name now. Rosemary does not come out with Decay or Bram. Steve gets on the apron to distract Bram as the match starts, which works in Abyss beats Bram down in the corner. Abyss chokes Bram in the corner and then chases the referee away as well. Bram fights back on Abyss, but Abyss cuts him off and knees Bram in the gut. Abyss whips Bram into the opposite corner, but Bram bounces off with a running clothesline. Bram hits another running clothesline and then a third, which finally takes Abyss down. Bram charges at Abyss, but Abyss sidesteps him and sends Bram flying over the top to the floor. Steve jumps on Bram and attacks him as Abyss was distracting him. Bram rolls back into the ring and Abyss headbutts him repeatedly. Abyss puts Bram in a vice grip, but Bram fights him off with a series of jabs. Abyss goes for a chokeslam, but Bram blocks it and connects with a spinning heel kick. Bram hits a series of running forearms, capped off with a running high knee. Bram attempts to whip Abyss into the corner, but Abyss reverses it and then charges into an elbow from Bram. Bram climbs up top and dives off, only for Abyss to catch him by the throat. Abyss goes for the choke slam, but Bram counters into sit out rear mat slam. Bram goes for the brighter side of suffering, but Abyss counters into the choke slam. Rosemary walks down to the ramp, which causes Abyss to hesitate, and then Rosemary slides into the ring and says something to Bram in his ear. Bram rolls away from her, and Abyss screams at her as Steve gets on the apron. Bram hits a running knee that sends Abyss crashing into Steve, and then Bram rolls him up for the pin. Your winner via pinfall, Bram. I thought this was a good match. Also, after the match, Rosemary rubs the chest of Bram while he stares at her. Bram walks up the ramp while Rosemary looks back at Decay, with everyone looking confused as hell. I was I was hoping to see him make out again, but also, what are your thoughts on this match? I mean, I thought it was a good match. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was a good match. Like I said, with the Rosemary segment and whatnot, like I said, I don't know. I think rubbing the chest was enough. But like I said, is even if they could make it work, if they could just somehow make it work to where they can bring Graham into Decay, I would be fine for it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
But
yeah,
I mean, I just kind of want them to keep rolling with Decay right now because to me, they're they're a stable that's done right. This is the way the Wyatts should have been done. They've been made to look strong. They're the
made to look creepy.
right, made to look creepy. They're that imposing monster heel type stable, and they've been looking strong. They're the tag team champions. So you've got to continue that role, and they've lost 2 weeks in a row. I just hope they don't, kind of, you can use Decay later on, and especially if you make them stronger, you can use Decay later on to put over other people because that's what these stables are. The stables are used for people like, say, Crazy Steve, who's just starting to develop talking and his mic skills. So they put him with a guy like Abyss who can talk really, really well, and then Rosemary can talk really, really well. So this also helps out Crazy Steve. But you make this stable look strong, and then whenever people start to legitimately, you make them look strong, and then whenever people come up against them and start to beat them, or they find the chink in the armor, then you get behind that person, and then it gets that person over, and that's what you use stables for. So I hope they use this right, and they just don't kill the momentum off altogether.
Oh yeah, very well said. Now we go to the TNA Knockouts Fatal Four Way Championship between Sienna with Ali versus Jade versus Marty Bell versus Gail Kim. And this match was better, of course, than anything any Divas match on Raw could put together. Of course, you have four wrestlers and not Divas. Because Sienna reminds me of Jessica Havoc, who I kind of miss in TNA, but she kind of just disappeared.
Well,
But
that's because she went on a racist tirade or something.
yeah, I heard her boyfriend works for NXT. The thing is, she had a tryout, but once WWE or somebody, a fan, found her tweets from I think like a year ago and spreaded them around, the word got the word got back to the McMahon, Stephanie. So she was dismissed with the quick. Anyway, Match starts off. Gail attacks Sienna as she was making her entrance on the ramp. Marty and Jade start brawling in the ring at the same time. Marty tries for a package pile driver, but Jade blocks it and then takes Marty down. Jade hits the ropes, but Sienna pulls Jade through the ropes to the floor. Sienna gets in the ring and sends Marty into the corner and lays her out with a splash in the corner. Sienna beats Marty down and then hits a series of nasty knees on Marty in the corner. Sienna charges at Marty, but she sidesteps her, causing Sienna to crash into the turnbuckles. Marty hits a series of knees and then a running hip attack for a near fall. Gail runs in and hits a series of forearms on both Sienna and Marty. Gail hits a double clothesline on Marty and Sienna. Gail mounts Sienna and punches her until Marty pulls her off and throws Gail to the floor. Sienna and Marty start exchanging chops and forearms. Gail and Jay dive off the top with missile drop kicks on Sienna and Marty. Marty and Sienna roll to the floor and they both eat flying drop kicks through the ropes from Gail and Jade. They exchange strikes back in the ring until Jade gets the advantage with a leaping knee followed by a forearm smash. Jade attempts a Pele, but Gail sidesteps it and hits a senton backsplash for a near fall. Gail hits a spinning head scissors into the hanging octopus, but Jade counters into a bridging German suplex for a near fall of her own. Jade climbs up to Jade climbs up top, but quickly eats a forearm smash from Gail. Gail climbs up with Jade, but Sienna hits her from behind and lifts Gail up in a electric chair as Jade dives off the top with a missile dropkick. Marty climbs back in and hits a pedigree on Jade. Sienna hits the ropes for but eats a big boot from Marty. Gail hits eat defeat on Marty 1-2 no. Allie puts uh Allie puts Marty's foot on the bottom rope. The referee sees that and breaks up the count. Gail is about to hit a taupe suicida on Allie until Sienna catches her with the silencer out of nowhere for the pin. Winner and so knockout champion Sienna. So Paulson, your thoughts on this match?
Um, I like Sienna. I like what they do because that's like you said. She's like their version. She's getting Jessica Havoc's push. This is where Jessica Havoc would be if Jessica Havoc didn't do what Jessica Havoc did. Now, maybe one of these days there can be some retribution for Jessica Havoc, and she can come back later on. I don't know. It would be decent to see Awesome Kong back too. We know about her troubles and whatnot. But Sienna is it right now. That's their one that they're pushing later on. The one thing I do like about Sienna matches, I just love is Allie in the corner because every time she tickles me to death whenever she goes over there through the whole fucking match and you got Gil Kim over there, so you got comedy. You're laughing just at fucking Abby or fucking Allie just gibber jabbering over there. You got one of the better workers in Gil Kim. You got one of the better workers in Jade. And the feud between Jade and Marty Bell looks absolutely. It looks intense. You know what I'm saying? They
Oh
went to
yeah.
intense to sell this feud, and with Sienna still winning it because it just makes the most sense right now. And I liked it. I think it was a quality match. It's a quality females match. You're not leaving to go take a pee break through the knockouts matches like you are the divas matches. They're just a little bit well worked. You can tell the chemistry's in there, and they know how to put on a good show. And this isn't what you get from the WWE with their females division, with the divas division. I'm sorry, you can say what you want to, but I just think it's a lot of spotty wrestling in those matches. And I like that silencer that Sienna's went to now because that looks real. That looks believable. I like how she just side out of nowhere comes and just smacks Gail Kim with that silencer, and then it's 1, 2, 3 for the pin. It's really really easy to do, and it's totally believable. So
Oh yeah. Like I said, see these four ladies, they have skills, and we want to welcome Bearstown to the show. What's up, Bearstown?
What's up?
Yeah, we're doing our TNA wrestling review, so glad to have you. We just got through the results of the Knockouts four-way fatal match for the TNA Knockout Championship. So, okay, guys, commercial break again. Oh, after the Knockouts match, another Matt Hardy uh, segment airs with Matt and his family eating dinner, which I thought was really funny because he told the servant said prepare green peas. They are a delicacy. And I was like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding. And while he was saying delete, you had the butler over there just doing his little book check, check, check.
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious. And now from
With no mustard. I really despise mustard.
you got to be kidding me. I tell you, I was like, okay. And back from commercial break from that, backstage we see Bobby Lashley says that he could have ripped Davey Richards in half in the ring earlier, but he likes the hunt better. He wants Davey to be at ringside to watch him rip the heart out of the X Division. Okay, then we go. Matt Hardy now comes to the ring for his segment. Basically, he has his wife call out Jeff Hardy, and as Jeff Hardy is walking to the ring, she's chanting obsolete in his ear, which even annoyed me because I was kind of hoping Jeff would have turned around and just slapped her right upside the head.
And you know what though? I mean,
Yeah.
Jeff did such a good job with that too.
Oh,
Because
he
if
did.
you looked at Jeff, he looked like he legitimately wanted to cry. You know what I'm saying? So he really did
He
his
did.
part right there. And you don't understand because this is what I can't get to a lot of people. Back in the 90s, whenever you watched WWE, it was the little stuff like that that added up into the big moments. You know what I'm saying? It's little stuff. Whenever Vince, just the look on Vince's face whenever Stone Cold music hit, it cemented
Yeah.
a lot of stuff back there, a lot of great memories, and that's kind of the it's little stuff like that that you can do to help make it a quality show, and it goes unappreciated a lot of times. But I notice it a lot more than others. The little stuff helps those big moments when those big moments come, and it helps sell.
That's true. Bearstown, to bring you up to speed, we did a recap of the opening segment and the first couple of matches. If you watch the show, what are your thoughts on the aftermath of the final deletion?
Well, okay. That was a good show.
Okay, yeah. And how about the knockouts match, the fatal
That
four-way
was
knockouts match?
the thing between them, man. It was very good. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I like how it was pushed to that direction. You know,
Yep.
Post and said it all.
Yep. Okay, basically to finish off the segment for Matt Hardy, he basically tells Jeff Hardy that even since he owns the Hardy name now, he's going to make Jeff a slave. And and basically he said he wanted to have his contract terminated, but he said no, I'm not going to do that. I'm keep you around because, and this is the best part I liked.
Yeah,
He kind of did a shoot a jab at Vince McMahon, and I said, oh, awesome, I love it.
he called
So
him a megalomaniac.
yeah, ego megalomaniac, and Jeff was like, what? No, I'm not going there. So and he said, there's a lot of equity in his value, a lot of equity in basically money. So here's the thing: Jeff Hardy right now is basically a slave, but I'm hoping this builds into a Jeff Hardy rebellion, or I'm personally hoping Willow comes back and he gets some kind of revenge. What do you think?
Let's see. Willow versus Broken Matt. That could be very, very, very interesting
That could
because we
be,
know that
yeah,
they're similar. You know what I'm saying? They're both
yeah,
that. Yeah, they're both that character. So it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see that happen.
It's
yep, yeah, because basically Matt said he wants to turn him into his mule and basically break Jeff's back until there's not a dollar left in his body. Okay, he says deletion is a fate worse than death. Um, okay, whatever you say. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Okay, now backstage, Bennett is looking for Eddie Edwards, but Zima Ion stops him and says that he wants Bennett in the ring right now. Zima says that he can forget about Eddie because he has to deal with him first. Bennett gets in Zima's face and says that if he has to go through Zima to ruin Destination X, he will. Commercial break. Bennett comes to the ring with Maria, and I don't think it's humanly possible to be wearing anything tighter than the shorts Maria is wearing. I guess this is going to be an official match. So that being said, DZ Man versus the Miracle. This was a good match. You had a lot of blocks. Of course, no extra the flying back elbow out of the corner, running corkscrew elbow. Good match back and forth. A lot of kicks. But and Zima actually was put over uh, via pinfall, which I was surprised. I was thinking Bennett was going to go over again. But oh yeah, that's right. At one point in the match, Bennett tries to bail, but the X Division guys come out. Helms Dynasty, Sutter, and everybody chase Bennett back into the ring, and that's where Zima got the pin. So, Poston, what are your thoughts on this?
Like I said, I would like to see Mike Bennett work a real match. You know what I'm saying? He had some good matches with EC3. Don't get me wrong, but I'd like to see him work a full match. You know, with other guys and whatnot, because I would like to see him get a push. I'd like to see him get up there, but not just totally. You got to go in the ring a little bit too to make it a little bit believable. But at the end of the day, at the end of the show, we kind of understand where this is going. I like the fact that they do have the X Division come out and interfere and kind of like support each other, and that helps sell Mike Bennett a little bit. But Mike Bennett's been kind of on this losing streak or whatnot, and he hasn't been made to look legitimate. You know what I'm saying? So I would kind of
Oh
like to
yeah,
see him do a little bit more, give him a few more victories over people that you probably don't have as many plans for at this point in time, and help him build up a little momentum, especially going in for Bound for Glory, because he is one of your better talkers. He's one of those guys who can get interest into your company, just like Eli Drake. And yeah, definitely, man. I just think they need to build a little bit more around him. And but towards the end of the show, that's I thought was awesome. So, but we'll continue on that.
yeah. Bearstown, what are your thoughts on this match? Bearstown, you there?
I'm, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, the last match I just read the results on. What are your thoughts on that? Mike Bennett versus DJ Zima Ion.
Okay, it was good. It was,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
see, also
Now,
good.
after the loss, Bennett throws a fit in the ring and says that this isn't the way things were supposed to go down tonight. He says that he promised to ruin Destination X, and damn it, he will ruin it. He says he will burn TNA to the ground, and he won't do it alone. Of course, there's the hint of who's to come. Drew Galloway is shown arriving backstage, and he says that we all heard what EC3 had to say last week, and now TNA won't sanction a match between the two because of their tempers. So they would just go to the ring and talk things out. Galloway laughs at the end and says if they can't wrestle, they will just fight. Commercial break, we come back. Bennett is on the phone with someone and screams at the person to get here tonight. He says that they have to get here tonight so they can burn TNA down together. Okay, now we go. Drew Galloway comes to the ring and says that he and EC3 go back a long way, but they can't just seem to stop getting into each other's way in TNA. And EC3 keeps costing him his world title since TNA won't sanction a good old-fashioned wrestling match. To settle this thing, they will just have to have a good old-fashioned fight. He tells EC3 to get his ass out to the ring so he can kick it. EC3 says that they both want the world title, but there can only be one. He says that they were friends before this thing all started, and that they may even be friends when it is all over. But for right now, Drew is his Scottish puppy dog bitch, which I thought was a good line. EC3 hits the ring, and the fight is on. Of course, before he says that, he goes, you took the high ground there, brother. That's good. He goes, but oh well. Rushes the ring, and they have a good old fashioned fight. And the fight lasts. You have some suplex slamming, chairs. and then both of them eventually end up outside the ring backstage where they fight to the backstage area, and the officials and referees, wrestlers break it up. But Paulson, what are your thoughts on this segment?
Yeah, even whenever he said that you're my Scottish puppy dog, bitch, even Drew Galloway was kind of like laughing at him whenever he said that. So he knew he got in a good shot right there. These two right here, the intensity in it, you know what I'm saying? These two are
Oh
working
yeah,
really, really well together. It's gonna be really good to see a match because they work so well. And with those knife edge chops that fucking Drew has just been pounding away on fucking EC3, and EC3's been coming back. You know what I'm saying? So the it's gonna be interesting whenever they finally get a match, and it's probably I figure it's probably gonna be at Bound for Glory, but I'm not exactly sure when they're gonna have this match, man, because they're doing a really great job building it.
oh yeah. Like I said, it was a good fight until the officials broke it up. I was hoping it would last longer because sometimes the backstage brawl is better than what's in the ring because then they could use weapons. They could have used some on the table, or I mean, I was hoping it would last longer, but to me, it didn't last long enough. I mean, the fighting in the ring was good, but when they went to the back, it's like they broke it up for, I guess, maybe for time constraints purposes. And so Bearstown, what are your thoughts?
Oh, pretty good. Yeah, fighting is pretty good. Good, actually, good action wrestling stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I have to go to bed.
All
Okay.
right, man.
Well,
I'm
thanks for
sorry,
popping
but
in, Bearstown.
thanks for waiting, Malik.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks for coming on
yeah,
the show, Bearstown. Peace.
sorry, Malik. Sorry, I'm gonna bed. I have to go to church tomorrow morning.
No problem, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for inviting me, guys. I wish you could
Yeah.
be more awake.
No problem, man.
Sure.
Have a good
Bye.
one, Bearstown.
Good night, guys.
Good night, buddy. Peace. Well,
Good night.
God bless. Okay. I'd like to thank Bearstown for coming on the show. Shout out to him. Always a pleasure to have him on. Okay, Paulson. Now we come to the main event. Lashley versus Eddie Edwards with Davey Richards in his corner for title versus title. This is the first time they have ever faced each other one on one. Both Eddie's X Division title and Lashley's world title are on the line here. Only man to ever hold both the world and X Division title was Kurt Angle several years ago. Eddie is wearing tights that have the X Division logo on it. Lashley quickly takes Eddie down with the waistlock takeover, and then he connects with the shoulder block. Lashley puts the boots to Eddie in the corner and then starts to blatantly choke him. Lashley connects with a series of shoulder blocks on Eddie in the corner, and then he lifts Eddie up in the air and backdrops him. Lashley goes for a delayed vertical suplex, but Eddie slips free and locks in a sleeper. Lashley snapmares Eddie over and then charges at him, only for Eddie to sidestep Lashley, sending him to the floor. Eddie goes for a slingshot plancha onto Lashley on the floor, but Lashley catches him in midair and attempts a running power slam. But Eddie shoves Lashley into the ring post. Eddie hits a Hurricane Rana on Lashley on the floor and then attempts a running clothesline, but Lashley catches him with the overhead belly to belly suplex onto the ramp. Lashley tosses Eddie around the ringside and then attempts a spear, but Eddie catches him with a big back elbow, only for Lashley to come back with a spear anyway, sending Eddie crashing into the ring steps. At this point, we go to a commercial break. Action continues when we come back. Lashley chokes Eddie in the corner and then chokes him in the ropes as he taunts Davey at the same time. Lashley hits a series of crossfaces and then a hangman's neckbreaker. Lashley gets a near fall and puts Eddie in a headlock. Eddie fights back to his feet and hits a series of elbows and headbutts. Eddie hits the ropes, but then eats a slobber, knocking literally back elbow from the world champ. Lashley hits a big haymaker and argues with the referee about closed fists. Lashley elbows Eddie repeatedly and then goes for another haymaker, but Eddie ducks it and hits a series of nasty chops. Eddie bounces off the ropes, but Lashley catches him and goes for another power slam, only for Eddie to counter into a spinning DDT. Lashley gets back to his feet and charges at Lashley, but Eddie drops down and Lashley goes flying through the ropes to the floor. Eddie hits a tope suicida through the ropes onto Lashley, sending him into the guardrail. Eddie slides back in the ring and hits a second tope suicida, followed by a third one as well, with the momentum of the match shifting to the Wolf. Eddie rolls Lashley back in the ring, and then he charges into an elbow from Lashley. Lashley goes for a spear, but Eddie catches him with a spinning sit-out spinebuster. 1-2 no. Lashley kicks out. Eddie hits a running forearm smash, and then he whips Lashley into the corner. Eddie charges into a boot from Lashley. Lashley climbs up top, but Eddie hits him with a two straight leaping enziguris. Eddie climbs up with Lashley, but Lashley shoves Eddie out to the mat, and then he falls to the mat as well. Eddie forearms Eddie and then climbs back up top, but Eddie hits him with another leaping enziguri. Eddie goes for a Frankensteiner, but Lashley blocks it and attempts a super bomb. Eddie counters into the Frankensteiner. Eddie goes for the Boston knee party, but Lashley catches him in mid-move. Lashley goes for the running power slam, but Eddie's feet hit the referee in the head as Lashley lifted Eddie up. Lashley hits the running power slam, but the referee is okay. Referee's out. Lashley grabs the world title and goes to hit Eddie with it, but Davey pulls it away from him. Eddie hits an enziguri on Lashley, and then the Wolves hit the chasing dragon. It's over. 1-2 no. Lashley still kicks out. Mike Bennett appears in the ring out of nowhere and decks the referee. Bennett taunts Lashley and Eddie as some new music begins to appear. Former Ring of Honor star Moose walks through the tunnel as Lashley and Eddie look confused. Moose kills Davey with a spinning clothesline on the floor. Eddie goes for a slingshot Rana on Moose on the floor, but Moose blocks it and power bombs Eddie. Moose gets in the ring and stares Lashley down. Basically, the winner's a no contest. But when Moose gets in Lashley's face, and then Bennett low blows him from behind, and Moose destroys Lashley with the spinning. The new interview chick approaches Dixie backstage and asks her about what we saw. Dixie says the fans deserve to see a winner, and she says title versus title match, title versus title rematch next week inside six sides of steel. She says there won't be any interference BS next week. Well, like I said, this was a good match, ended in a good segment, and we're introduced to what they say is the hottest free agent in wrestling, former Ring of Honor star Moose. I'm guessing,
Moose.
yeah, I'm guessing,
Moose.
yeah, the Moose is loose. I'm guessing Bennett is going to start a faction with Moose, and maybe he's going to build his own crew. But I would love to see a one-on-one fight with Lashley and Moose. So, Paulson, overall, what are your thoughts on the main event?
The main event was really, really, really good. I really liked the ending of it, bringing in Moose in this faction and making him look so strong, because he is, man. The guy's gonna be one of those. He's one of those, and he was very anticipated. Which Dave Meltzer doesn't know what he's talking about whenever he says nobody knows who this guy is. Did you see that crowd go Moose, Moose, and doing
Yeah,
their little
yeah,
Moose tug? So clearly the guy is already over just stepping foot into TNA. But with the match in and of itself, the match was fucking awesome, because this is not what you get in the WWE. Brock Lesnar, it's Suplex City, and that's all these fans want. It's just so pedestrian. It's so mundane. You know what I'm saying? The matches
yeah.
are so mundane. But
Repetition.
we see
Yeah,
what this is the difference between Bobby Lashley right now and Brock Lesnar, is that Bobby Lashley looked strong through most of the match, but he made Eddie Edwards look really, really, really strong, and I liked it. I really did, man. It looked like, and this is what whenever everybody was on the big Daniel Bryan hoopla and everything like that, nothing personal. He might have been incredible in Ring of Honor, and he might have deserved to be in the ring with Triple H and Randy Orton and Batista and all these guys. But he didn't look like it, with the way he was fighting. in WWE. He did not look like he belonged in the ring with Randy Orton and Batista or Triple H and these guys. Eddie Edwards looked like he belonged in this match with Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley did a hell of a job making it look real. I mean, at one point in time, they were like, "Oh wow, is Bobby Lashley's eyes swelling shut?" And you could see he had that look of daze and confusion whenever Eddie Edwards was just giving him hell. You know what I'm saying? He was just really going at it. Like,
Well, of
that's
course, yeah,
how you're supposed to make a title look. You're supposed to
yeah,
make a title look like you're going to put everything in the line. This person's going to give, you're going to get the best this person has to offer. That's why whenever I say, whenever AJ Styles is in the ring with Roman Reigns, that's what makes those matches good, because AJ Styles is going to give you, and he's going to make you believe that he's giving it everything he's got because he wants that title. And that's what separates the guys from like AJ Styles and Austin Aries from guys like Dean Ambrose and some of the other guys that are just consistently WWE. They don't look like they're giving you that all in the ring, but in TNA, it looks like they're giving you that all. And even you can tell right now, because the guys that are hungry, the guys that are more over are from other wrestling companies that are just getting into the WWE, because WWE is trying to get somebody invested. But usually they end up misusing talent, and it's just gonna go. It's just gonna be that. It's gonna be stagnant. They're not gonna be able to get anybody over like that. But TNA in one match has gotten people to believe that Eddie Edwards could actually win the title in this next week's match, man. And you got to credit that to much as Bobby Lashley as you do to Eddie Edwards.
and also hats off to Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett is also like I believe Mike Bennett is basically helping carrying the company too, because his presence is, like I said, very entertaining. So you have a good mix of wrestlers and an entertaining storyline, which is lacking elsewhere. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to next week in Six Sides of Steel. Let's just hope somebody doesn't cut the door open with bolt cutters. Even the steel cage, people still get in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, I would give this show a 10. It was a good show, good solid show again. Good promos, good promo segments that led into a fight, and you had some good old fashioned wrestling. You can't seem to get elsewhere, of course, obviously. So,
Ex-
go ahead.
I was gonna say exactly.
Okay, Paulson, any final thoughts?
Yeah, this was a really, really good show. You gave it a 10. I'll go ahead and give it an 8.5. Um, you know, and I mean, the bad thing is, like, I almost want to give it an 8, even maybe even a 7.5, because TNA's had such great shows this year, man. It's kind of getting to the point to where, I don't want to overgrade a show, but it's definitely a lot better than you're getting in WWE. So these shows are, it's kind of hard to compare from show to show to show, because all the shows that TNA's been doing over the past few months they've knocked it out of the park. And guys like Brad Rules that only focus on the final deletion, watch the whole show. Don't just say, "Oh, well, TNA is doing this right here and they're doing that right," because TNA is doing a lot of stuff right. You've got Eli Drake, you've got Mike Bennett, you've got the stuff going on with EC3 and Drew McIntyre right now. Uh, you've got Moose coming in, which is a hot free agent. You got Bobby Lashley right now. He is your champion. The Eddie Edwards shit, it's just a far superior product than what you're gonna, if you like wrestling. Now, I understand that a lot of kids like the little corny stuff that goes on in the WWE. Nothing against that if that's what you like. But if you like traditional wrestling, then TNA is where you need to be. If you like wrestling, the press wrestling product the way it used to be, watch TNA. Watch TNA, and I tell this to everybody: give it a chance. If you don't like it, then don't watch it. That's fine. I'm not asking you to watch it, because for the most part, I don't want any of the WWE fans that are there right now that go to these shows watching it because it is a good, superior product. But if you were a wrestling fan, go ahead and try out with TNA and see how you like it. And I guarantee you, you're gonna like it a hell of a lot better than WWE currently.
That's for sure. And my final thought is, hats off to Dixie Carter. Hats off to TNA Wrestling Management, who was doing a great job. And I'm
Billy
looking forward.
Corrigan,
Yep, Billy Corrigan,
the
and I'm
Harris
looking.
brothers.
Oh yeah, the Harris brothers. Yeah. Oh yes, another thing. They're getting close to the final sale of TNA Wrestling overall, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. So when the sale goes through, I'm hoping that means just bigger and brighter things ahead as far as creative and management. Well, okay. Like I said, I think that's gonna about wrap it up for this edition of the TNA Impact Wrestling Review, and we'll be back next time, and most likely this time we'll be on Paulson's channel for next week's review for the Six Sides of Steel. So, hey, Paulson, any final words?
No, just go ahead and give TNA a chance. I know that a lot of you guys like that old school feel. You like the new inventive stuff. Go ahead and give TNA a chance. And yeah, that's it, man. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Well, of course, always a pleasure. Like I said, I wish we could have some more people, some more TNA. If there's some more TNA wrestling fans out there, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Malik X. Like, share, and subscribe to the Prodigal Champ, Michael Polston. I'll put the links in the description. And any TNA wrestling fans who do videos or on YouTube, give us a shout out, and we'll have you on the show. So, like I said, for Polston and myself, Professor Malik X, peace, God bless, and we are out.